Canada's international students and work permits are crashing. Buddy, this isn't just some stat. This is about your rent, your taxes, maybe even your kids' shot at university. And the wild part? This did not just happen. Ottawa practically lit the fuse. Think about it. Universities rely on foreign students to pay the bills. Landlords rely on them to fill the overpriced basement apartments. Small businesses rely on work permits to keep staff behind the counter. Now, the numbers are dropping hard in 2025. And I'm telling you right now, this story hits your wallet whether you like immigration or not. Stay with me because the why behind this is crazier than you think. And the ripple effects could reshape Canada's economy for a decade. The drop-off. Here is the headline. International student arrivals and work permits are way down this year. We are not talking a tiny dip. We are talking the kind of drop where universities are panicking, businesses are short-staffed, and government revenue projections are already getting shaky. Why does this matter? Because Canada built part of its economic plan on importing people. Let's be real. Our population growth is not exactly homegrown. Immigration has been the engine. Pull that engine back and suddenly the car starts sputtering. And it's not just numbers, it's timing. This comes at the same time Canada is facing a housing affordability crisis, aging population, and labor shortages. Buddy, that's like putting the goalie and the defense at the same time. Why it's happening? So, what happened? Ottawa has been tightening the screws. Caps on international student visas, stricter rules for private colleges abusing the system, which is fair. Work permits harder to get, slower to process. Now, don't get me wrong, some of this cleanup was needed. We all saw the headlines about shady college cramming students into basements, charging full tuition and delivering garbage education. But here's the twist. By going nuclear on the crackdown, the government may have overcorrected. Instead of weeding out the bad actors, they have scared off legit students and workers who had other options. Australia, UK, even the US, certainly looking friendlier. Canada's brand as the welcoming country took a hit, and international students, they talk. Word spreads. Certainly, that cousin in Mumbai or Beijing is saying, don't go to Toronto. The visas are a nightmare now. That reputation shift is worth more than any single policy announcement. Once people see Canada as closed off or broken, good luck turning that ship around. Before we go any further, please like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Subscribing to my channel is not going to cost you anything, but it does help me big time. Thank you. Now back to our topic. The ripple effects. Here is where it gets real personal. Universities. International students are not just a nice bonus. They are the lifeline. Domestic tuition is capped by provinces. International tuition, that's where schools rake in the dollars. Some Ontario universities get more than half their tuition money from foreign students. So when arrivals drop, budget holes the size of Lake Superior. That means higher tuition for Canadians, program cuts, layoffs, or, let's be blunt, bankruptcy threats for smaller schools. Housing. You would think fewer international students would cool the housing market, right? Wrong, because the system is so broken, taking them out just shifts pressure. Landlords who banked on high-paying international tenants are panicking. That might sound like good news for renters, but it's actually market chaos. Certain drops can make investors bail. Development projects stall, and overall housing supply shrink further. Labor market. Work permits are down. That means fewer baristas, fewer servers, fewer people in industries. Canadians, frankly, don't want to touch. Labor shortages hit wages at first, but then, guess what? Businesses just shut down hours or close entirely. Try getting service when half the cafe staff got denied permits. Taxes and growth. Canada's growth model assumed constant inflows. Immigration is not just cultural, it's fiscal. Fewer students is equal to less tuition. Fewer workers is equal to less tax revenue, less consumption. That means budget holes Ottawa will have to fill, likely by squeezing you harder. Buddy, if you think this is just an immigrant issue, think again. It's about your pocket. The policies. This is where it gets spicy. Politicians love to use immigration as a talking point. Too high, too low, who's to blame? But right now, the slowdown is actually a byproduct of competing pressures. Conservatives hammering the liberals for bringing in too many students, blaming them for housing crisis. Liberals trying to show they are responsible by cutting back. Provinces stuck in the middle because they need the student tuition but cannot build enough housing. It's like watching two guys fight over who gets to drive the bus while the bus is already rolling downhill without brakes. And the public totally split. Some Canadians are cheering the cuts, hoping it means cheaper rent. Others are furious, seeing it as a brain drain and a collapse of Canada's global reputation. The global angle. Here is the kicker. Canada isn't competing in a vacuum. Australia just ramped up its international student intake with streamlined visas. The UK, despite Brexit messiness, is still attractive for top-tier programs. The US, despite politics, its Ivy Leagues and tech hubs keep pulling talent. So if Canada fumbles this, we don't just lose students, we lose future citizens, future innovators, future taxpayers. Think about it. The kid who would have studied engineering at Waterloo and then built a startup in Toronto, he is now in Sydney or San Fran. That's not just a lost tuition. That's lost national capacity. And once Canada loses its rap as the go-to country, rebuilding that takes decades. This is not just numbers and policies. These are people. Picture an international student flying into Pearson with their family savings on the line, only to get hit with visa delays, housing scams, and policy U-turns. Or a restaurant owner in Calgary begging for staff, but the work permit pipeline dried up. Doors close, locals lose jobs, customers lose service. Or a Canadian kid applying to university suddenly facing higher tuition because the international stream shrank. That's what drop-in arrivals really means. It's not abstract, it's daily life. So, here is the bottom line. Canada's slowdown on students and workers isn't just a policy tweak. It's a domino chain, one that hits universities, businesses, housing, and your taxes. If Canada wanted to fix the abuses, fine. But in trying to slam the brakes, Ottawa might have slammed straight into the wall. Buddy, the question is simple. Did Canada just trade short-term optics for long-term pain? If you have seen it firsthand, whether you are a student, a landlord, or an employer, drop your story below because this is not going away. If you've liked this video and want me to cover more stories like this, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.